Hello and welcome everyone. This is going to be an OCGN breakdown. So we are approaching 9 here and we're looking for anticipating bids at 9. So this is the open of the morning. We're looking to create a game plan and our game plans come from our controlling print. And at the current moment, we're just establishing that. So current print personality, I'm going to give it about 4 to 5. So that's on average what our prints look like. And we're approaching 9. We know OCGN has been a hot stock. Yesterday had a great range, great volume. We know yesterday never gave us a proper pullback. Not the bids I would expect at 9. It's kind of a mix there. We hit bids and then ask on the way up. But knowing how much this trades and looking at the volume, 1 million, if they truly had the intentions to hit 9, they could hit that way above print personality. They could show us a burst of 10 there. So that initially was pretty underwhelming given the volume. So nothing above print personality that I can create a game plan from. But volume is great. OCGN has been a hot stock. Yesterday it went from 7 to 10 without really any proper pullbacks and for them to steal money from retail. So we got a burst there. Came in as ask. Selling under. Still difficult to create a game plan from. The initial break, it was kind of mixed at 9. Nothing there to create a game plan from. 9 ask, which was interesting. You would expect that to be real clean bid above print personality. But the selling under has been fairly decent. But at this point, I just can't really create a game plan. I think the overall game plan would be on this trend here. It's a smooth trading stock. So on this trend, you'd want those bids at 9, and then you'd want it to pull up. You'd want it to be a quick pull up, and then we take it back short towards 9, and then have a price target of 850. But I mean, we just got more ask there at 9. So this is not that setup at the moment. To a high percentage, I can't establish that setup right now. It's just 9 seems more ask at the current moment than bid, which is interesting because we're on a downtrend and it's a smooth trading stock and we're trading great volume. So a bit interesting here. My initial game plan for looking what would come at 9 is not there. So now we have to really analyze further into the prints to give us a indication of direction and overall what the market makers are looking to do. Because at the moment it's been all sell. I mean, granted, yesterday was a huge day for OCGN, and this possibly could just be limiting exposure. I mean it definitely is. It's not them shorting. At least not too high percentage. Just looking at the daily. All smart money is really long right now, and this is limiting exposure on this smooth downtrend. So at this point, we're just really waiting for OCGN to give us an indication of direction. Because 9 has been, it really seems like there's been more ask at 9 on this downtrend, which is interesting. Usually we would see more bid if we were going to get a price target of 850, but it's been more ask. So, and this thing could really run very quickly. So, and this pattern here it looks like it's going to set up in a volume dip and just consolidate here, which is going to give us a pattern probably to run. So we have to find an indication of what direction. At this point, we would need significant bids at 9, like standout page full of bids to create a game plan. Like that at print personality 9, that's not going to cut it for a trade, especially in something like this with this much volume being traded. At print personality is not going to cut it for us to create a game plan. It's not going to cut it for us to create a game plan based on 1 through 4. And we're entering a volume dip. I mean, volume is still great, but it is dipping off, which is some more bids there at print personality. Nothing standout. Nothing that I can really genuinely create a game plan to a high percentage. I mean, obviously bids at 9 tell us pull up, so that's a possibility right there. And we're entering a volume dip, so there's a percentage there that we get a pull up, but we have to see how much we're going to pull up. I mean, this volume pattern here with this dip and this chart pattern is indicating us that we're going to get a breakout with price action and volume. We have ask that came in, and I think initially on the way down that was the largest, and then we got a few bid at per personality. So to me, it just makes sense to pop this above 9, maybe get a 50-cent pull up, but we'll see. Again, entering that volume pattern. We're in a consolidation here, so really just looking for the information for which game plan. And we know that selling is going to come because yesterday was a large day for OCGN. We know all money's been long. Not surprised they're limiting exposure, taking profit here at all. But again, this pattern here just indicates a bar coming soon. And I can't take this short under 9 at all. Even if we get a sharp bar at 850 on this volume pattern, and we get price action towards the downside, I can't chase that because we never got a proper pull up in this. We know we want to have a better position than the market maker, so we want our if we were going to take it back short, we know we want to be above 9, so we'd want that pull up first. Some nice aspirants under 9. So in this position, it's difficult to you have to be a lot higher percentage of a trader to take a short to the downside without a proper pull up from 9. And we didn't really see the information that we wanted at 9 regardless. So to take this to the downside, in my opinion, is a lot less of a possibility or probability. One, we need our pull-ups to be able to get our entries. We need our entries to be better than the market makers. And we need to do that, especially if you're a lower percentage trader, some ask at 9. You need to make sure that you're getting a better entry than the market maker. And we're still entering a volume pattern here. So when we're entering a volume dip with ask at 9, those ask at 9 is new buying. That's not someone covering. That's new buying, which is interesting here in this position. The selling under, I think we get a quick pullback here. Some great selling under, actually. That 9 ask really told us a lot of information there. It was slightly above print personality, but why would you print like that if you knew this stock was going to go to 8, you know? Putting yourself in that position of that person's shoes, you know it's not covering because of how big of an update it had yesterday and how it is trending today as well. And ask at 9. You have to keep that in mind if that person's going to make money to the upside. And we know we had the selling at 9 was relatively weak as well. So to me, this looks like it's pulling back from those ask at 9. We did have some decent off-level selling under, but that's to be expected. So at this point, I can't take a short. I can't continue to take a short to the downside right now. I need this to pull up. I need this to be a number 3 trade. Or else I just feel like I'm chasing to the downside right now. My percentages personally aren't there to be able to take trades without their proper pull-ups and pull-downs. I mean, great selling under, that's for sure. To be able to take something like this to the short side without a proper pull-up, again, your percentages have to be significantly high. And you have to have a great read on this. And right now, we don't have the greatest read besides the fact that 9 was kind of mixed, and then we got those 9 asks that really stood out, and we expected a pull-up. That was our best case scenario for a trade, would be a pull-up trade, and then we take a short. So number 3 trade, that turns into a number 2 trade. But it did not end up giving us either of those. But still going to analyze the possibilities here. Either we come back, approach 9, and then we get a trigger back up, or we just get continuation back down to 850 and we get bids there, and then we evaluate from there. But right now, I would not be in any trade. Would not be chasing it to the downside. I can't emphasize how important it is to understand the person that came in at 9. That really stood out to me. Just why would you come in, hit the ask like that? And you know that's new buying as well. That's not covering. Because how would they be short in a situation like this? They just wouldn't have the proper room to. It's possible, but it's unlikely that would be the case. So I'm still hopeful for this pull up here. And if we get a trigger with the right volume and the right price action, I think we have a solid trade here, possibly back up to 950.10. We obviously going to need the new buying to come in and step in heavy as well. And we're going to need this volume to really come out of this dip. Some more ask at 9 at print personality, so I'm not expecting too much of a pullback from those. Some more ask. Our price action has changed a little bit as well, if you haven't noticed. This would be a great time for this pull-up, this price action and volume to continue to come in. So here's our pull-up that we were looking for. Number 3 trade right here. Now let's see how volume, we're going to keep an eye on volume. We got to be real mindful here. For this to continue up, we're going to need a wax. We're going to need a hit above 1.6 million, get close to 2 million to really get through these print lines. We need a wax. We need volume, personality to change. We need this pattern just to continue out. It's a nice ask point 20 there. Volume seems like it's waxing. It's continuing. I personally would have taken the shot above 9, just understanding that it really has a possibility to make a strong pull-up. Great volume. We're waxing now. Came out of that volume dip, that valley. Now we need to see if we can continue. We're going to play defense here as well. I think conservative right now would be 950 price target, but we need that volume to continue to wax here or get close to. Holding these print lines as of now. It really is showing the possibility to continue to really sustain itself with volume. And we know these print lines are going to be easy to break through at all. But if you keep eye on the volume, and if that volume continues to stay strong, consistent, around that 1.8 million, even wax, we shouldn't have any issues breaking above. And then at this point, we would. This is a number 3 trade, which it's interesting because it has the selling. We got the selling, and we needed a pull up, right? And then we go down and we had some great selling under 9. And then we come back and hit ask at 9. This was an interesting setup. It already needed a pull up and then we saw a hit ask. So that, in my opinion, that just confirmed our pull up, which we got here. So nice ask at 0.40. So in my opinion, this would be a number 3 trade, and those 9 were riders to the upside. So we have to be mindful though. Number 3 trades turn into number 2 trades. So, but volume, it's continuously waxing. It's great. 0.41, I really like that position right there. Now we expect ask in 950. Hopefully we get great ask. If we do, above print personality. So, and then our volume is great right now. So, if it dips off, I would expect a quick pullback down to, not even the case here. Great price action, continue up. But if that volume dipped off with the 950, I would expect a 20 cent, 30 cent pullback. But in this case right now, volume is just waxing, so we're continuing on our push. We're just continuing on our way. Some nice ask there, 0.80. Still be mindful though. The 950 never got a chance to even pull back, not even slightly. So, and then volume is becoming unsustainable. We got 3 million, highest volume of the day. Just got to be mindful of that at this point. Could we continue to wax? Yes, but at this point, what's the statistical likelihood of continuously waxing? It's a lot less. Great buying still coming in. And 10 would probably be our price target in this case, because we know how strong of a level 10 is. 10 is not an easy level. And we'd be, waxing into 10 with this volume probably not going to sustain. We would definitely be limiting exposure. In my opinion, I would have limited some exposure here off just the fact that that was unsustainable bar. That in itself, for me at least personally, I would limit a bit off of that. Nothing significant, probably like 20-30%. Just knowing we can get some pretty sharp price action bars down from unsustainable bars. So some great ask at 0.90 there. 10 ask above print personality. There's your trade right there. Now we have to be mindful we have 2 levels, 950 and 10 without a proper pullback. We could easily see a 30 cent pullback here. And we got to be mindful of volume. If volume starts to dip off here and we enter a dip and we have those 2 levels have not pulled back, we can easily see a 30 cent pullback. So at that point, it's just trade management. If you don't want to give up 30 cents on your trade, then you would have to scale out, if not all, and then look for a new entry. And in this case, we know we have great ask at 10 and 950. Smooth trading as well. Now it's just trade management. Out of that bar, that unsustainable bar, and that 10, you just had to expect a quick pullback at minimal. Volume is still waxing though. It's sustaining for now, but now we just got to be mindful of the variables that tell us if it will continue to sustain itself. And if this does sustain itself and we keep waxing, it'll look like a consolidation here and then some more price action to the upside to a 1050. But I don't think the percentages are there. Just understanding the 10 level, 2 levels already that we have not got a proper pullback from. I don't think this is going to be just going to fly to 1050. I think we'll consolidate around this area and get a pullback. Be really mindful of volume. It tells you a lot. So 10, boom, right through 10. That price action doesn't necessarily match that volume, however. 2 million, it is great, but it's almost similar to that price action that we had for 3 million. Some bids at 10 there. At this point, you'd be already limiting exposure. And as if you can tell, the volume is starting to dip a little bit. Dipping volume doesn't always give us the greatest indication for a strong push to the upside. So this would be the rest of your trade, your runner, if you want to say that. You've let that go at the current moment. But just be mindful. Could get a sharp bar. Smooth trading stock, so smoothest longs always give us the smoothest pullbacks as well. And this is just trade management at this point. Being above 10, you know you wouldn't have your full position at all. And if you look at the volume, we already hit our peak, and we're still on our uptrend here, on our parabolic move, if that's what you want to call it as well. He's being consistent. Volume is consistent here. But we know we didn't pull back from 10 or 950. So we're just managing our trade here. Bid the 10. So that's pretty much it right there. Kind of summarize some points here is we knew OCGN was a hot stock. We know yesterday, just from understanding its personality, never gave us the proper pullbacks in the afternoon. I mean, it was money time for the market makers, so they never set themselves up in situations to really snag retail and shake retail out, so we understood that. And this morning we ended up getting a pullback, which was much needed from yesterday, and some limiting exposure that came through. And then we ended up getting our number 3 long trade to the upside. Great ask 950, great ask at 10. Volume ended up waxing, giving us a great trade. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll let the trade play out, but for the most part, you would just be managing this trade right now. And we're entering the volume dip, and two possibilities right now is we enter a volume dip and then we have a flag and then we continue to the upside without a pullback from 10, or the market maker uses this time on this volume dip to really bring it back to shake retail, to get retail out. 10-20 ass there. It's real nice. So I don't have too much more recorded, maybe a few minutes, so I guess I'll just stick around for a little bit. I've hit bid 10 a few times now. But yep, just like we said, volume dip, pullback. Volume didn't really indicate to us that it was going to continue to wax or be consistent. And then we got our pullback. We know that 10 ass needed a pullback, 952 as well. So it makes sense for them to pull us back and snag retail shares. And then at this point, we know 10 has the possibility to get to 1050. So if we allow retail to pull back, for them to build, for them to enter a volume dip, and then we will reevaluate for a possible another long to the upside to 1050. That's it for me, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. If you like these breakdowns, I promise you that Rich is a whole lot better at this, and this is all his methodology. He's the one that has taught me and many of our students and our veteran traders how to tape read. So if you're interested, I promise you there is a lot better of courses out there that explain it in more depth. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.